We're going to work today on the air element. So what I love about yoga is there's lots of different perspectives of looking at life. And it can be through the 8 limbs of yoga, it can be through looking at elements. There's lots of different approaches. And the element approach is looking at the fact that there are obviously different elements that make up the world outside of us, so the natural world. And then it also, within yoga, there's a reflection that we also have those elements within ourselves. And then it gives us a way of looking at how to find balance with that element. So all of the elements are good to have and good to work with, but they can all get out of balance in a particular way. So for example, with the air element, if you're looking at, say, for example, wind, right? If you don't have enough wind in the world, in you're outside, it can be very stagnant, right? It can feel very close, and the air can kind of get all a bit nasty, right? If there's no wind at all. On the other hand, if there's too much wind, you've obviously got a hurricane that happens, that could happen at the extreme, right? And so it can be chaos. But if you've got the right amount of wind in the middle, you've got your air is moving, you've got, spaciousness, you've got, let's say, you've got perfect kind of movement and a feeling of being refreshed and those kinds of things. So within the body, the way we look at it is that the air element is to do with our breath, right? So we've got our deep breath. And it's also obviously to do with our lungs and breathing with our lungs. But if we don't have enough of it, if we're imbalanced, we can either also feel very stagnant. So at the moment with COVID, we can just be like, oh, we can't go out, or we can't, and we kind of stop to think about what our dreams are, or we stop pursuing what our dreams are, and we just get very kind of stuck. And on the other extreme, if we kind of, if we're unbalanced and there's sort of too much air in our body, and it doesn't mean too much breath, it just means too much air, or Vayu, right, which is the Sanskrit word for it. We can feel very anxious and kind of like, so it's kind of a little bit of turmoil within ourselves and in our heads, because there's a lot of anxiety. So the idea with this element within ourselves is we're trying to find some balance, and we do that through breathing deeply. We do that through opening the heart, so being open to whatever is. So accepting the reality, for a lot of people, I think that we're all waiting, people are waiting for the vaccine, or we're waiting for life to start again. But actually, this is life. We have ups and downs in life, wherever we are. So the idea with, the idea of waiting until something happens, until we start living again, is a strange one. We need to find a way to be with all the discomfort of what's happening. So we kind of have a sense of grief in a way, that life and the world isn't happening the way that we might have expected it to. It's, so the things are not necessarily going as planned, right? Which is kind of life. It's just a little bit more extreme in this year at the moment. But so how can we breathe into that and accept it, right? Even though it's uncomfortable, can we accept it with all of its discomfort, all of its, so part of this is when we have that sense, or those challenging feelings, can we breathe into that and accept, so we're accepting life and death, we're accepting the good and the ugly, and we're embracing it all. That's what life is, right? Not just the good part. So can we breathe into that, allow that discomfort to be accepted and embraced, even though it's difficult. So there's an element of kind of surrender here. And when we've got, when we find that balance, we've got a lot more, you think of air, it's transparent, it's carefree, it's untroubled. There's a sense of freedom, happy-go-lucky kind of thing, and being creative. So we're trying to get to that space by allowing ourselves to accept and be open to what is. All right, so that's where we're going today. We're playing with that in class. We're going to come onto the knees if it feels comfortable for you or if it's doable for you. Otherwise, you can just come into a crossed leg seat. And you can rest your hands on your legs, feeling tall here and relaxing through the shoulders. And then you can just close the eyes and just pause for a moment. And just checking in with yourself. Do you have more of that feeling of stagnancy or a feeling of anxiety? Or do you feel somewhere in between? Or do you feel actually quite relaxed or carefree or untroubled? And just, it's not a judgment about yourself. It's just observing yourself, getting to know where you're at so you can support yourself in that. So just notice, and quite often when we're in that anxious stage or we're feeling stagnant, we forget to breathe fully. So we're going to work with the breath and we're going to breathe in through the nose and really feeling that breath coming right down to the diaphragm and inhaling, feeling that belly expand fully. And then as you exhale, just feeling that air just leaving that area. So really focusing on the belly as you breathe. See if you can breathe long and slow breaths. When you feel like your lungs are full and your diaphragm is full, see if you can just pause for a moment and then just sip in a little tiny bit more of breath. So filling it up just a little bit more, topping it off, and then exhaling through the nose. So you can do a few breaths like that. Filling, 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 feeling that belly and expand, maybe the chest expand too. Fill up till the top, and then sip in just a little bit more air, and then exhale. One more like that. Till you're full, sipping just a little bit more air and exhaling here. And then you're going to bring your hands to your side body. So you're going to basically bring your hands next to your chest. You're going to have your elbows out to the sides. They're like chicken wings sticking out. And you've got your thumbs kind of round the back and the fingers round the front and up as high as you can. So you're going to inhale and here and feel your side body expand to both sides with your breath, and exhale, let it out. So notice how it feels there where you're paying attention to your side body. You can also fill up your lungs if it feels good until it's enough or it's as much as you can. Pause and then sip in that little bit more breath. And exhale there again. So, but listen to your body, listen to your lungs, listen to what you need. But just playing with your breath here, being creative. Just a few more like that. And then release your hands to your thighs, keeping your eyes closed. And just taking a few deep inhales again, all the way down to the belly, through the chest, through the side body. Even imagine it's filling the back. Maybe sipping in a little bit more breath when you get to the top and then exhaling here. And then you can gently open your eyes up here. You're going to inhale, reaching the arms all the way up. And then you're going to bring that left arm down to the ground, reaching over with that right arm. And then reaching it forward and over to the other side. And the other arm then comes up and over, reaching forward. So working with your breath, exhaling as you reach over, and then inhale, reaching forward, and exhale. Working with your breath, finding movement, being creative. You can come up with any alternative that feels good, being intuitive with your body. Last time on each side. Calming back into center, hands touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. You're just going to shake your wrists out, shake your shoulders out. Maybe even move your jaw and your face from side to side and just let it go. So it's kind of like your cheeks are just going to wobble and you can make a noise. Just let it go. Let go of any of that stuck energy. Again, I've got good cheeks for doing that, but whatever works. All right, and then I'm just going to turn to the side, but you can stay where you are. We're going to lean back, lifting through the knees. Arms open up, so you're opening your chest up, opening to what is, right? Breathe into this discomfort if it doesn't feel good on your feet. Just breathing here, trying not to resist it, surrendering a little bit here to it. Using your breath when it's challenging, letting go of any pain or discomfort. Of course, you can come out if it really feels uncomfortable or painful. And flush away anything that isn't needed. Exhale, coming down, child's pose. Breathing here, feeling like you're breathing into the back. So imagine someone's got their hand on your back here in child's pose and feeling that you're breathing and lifting up their hand as you breathe, as you inhale, and then letting it fall on the exhale. One more breath here. And then we're going to roll on up and we're going to do that same pose. We're leaning back, lifting through the knees, opening through the chest. Taking a breath here. And then we're going to come onto hands and knees. So you can shake out that leg, the right leg first, and then the left leg. Just let go of anything that's not working. You can go through both of them again. And then we're going to come into cat-cows. Now with cat-cows here, you're going to inhale looking up, but you can find any other movement in your body with this pose. So you might come forward and back, you might come sideways, you might find little circles as you're looking up in this cow pose. And then you can come rounding the back here, and again you can move from side to side, you can move forward and back. Don't forget to breathe deeply in this pose. So you've got like a curve in your spine as you're doing this pose. We'll do one more, looking up. Again, finding movement, seeing what feels good, letting go of any areas that feel a bit stuck. Breathing here. Trusting in the moment. And rounding the back, just trusting your intuition as well of what feels good. Excellent, coming into center. That right leg is going to move back behind you. And then exhale, rounding the back, foot steps forward here, reaching the arms up. You're going to take that right hand behind you, bringing it down to that thigh. So it's a little bit of a twist. You're reaching up and a little bit back. So you're twisting a little bit. Notice how it feels. If it doesn't work for you, bringing your hand just to the lower back and just reaching the other arm up. So you've got options here. Inhale, arm comes back up. And then you can do the same with the other arm coming down. Great. Inhale, arms up. opening through the chest here. Now we're going to find a little movement as we open our chest. So maybe coming back and forwards a little bit. Maybe you can come onto heel, coming back, and toes going forward and lift up the heel. So you've got some ways of being creative here. You're opening your chest up, allowing whatever happens to happen, being open to it without that anxiety there. Wonderful. And then the hands can come down to the ground, and we're going to move forward and back, just stretching through the hamstring. If that's too much on the ground, you can play with bringing your hands to your hips and just finding, inhaling, you can lengthen. You inhale, yes, you can lengthen here. And exhale, bending the knee forward. So finding your movement, finding your breath. Deep, deep breaths here. Lovely. So then we're going to inhale, bringing the arms back up here and opening them out to the side, pressing the backs of the hands back behind you. We're going to take the left arm over the right, giving ourselves a big hug here. And then coming into eagle arms if it works for us, or just keeping the hug. So if we're coming into eagle arms, we're going to, so we've got left over right. We're pressing the elbows away from us, fingers up a little bit into the air. Excellent. We're going to tuck the toes of the back foot and lift up through that back knee. So it's hard, breathing into any challenge, breathing into any discomfort. Breathe any challenges away. And then we're going to lift up through that back leg. Ooh, coming up and wrapping that leg around the other one. So you can always use it as a kickstand if you like, or wrapping it around that leg. Squeezing everything into midline. So we're coming into eagle pose. So this is obviously with air, there's a lot to do with flight. So folding forward here, if that feels good, finding your center, allowing, even if you're falling over, just keep trying, finding compassion, kindness with your open heart. Inhaling, calming back up, unraveling the legs, pressing the leg back behind you, the foot back behind you, lengthen. Maybe coming into a little back bend here, lifting the arm. And then coming back to center. Back knee comes back down to the ground. And the arms release. Notice how the shoulders feel. And then the hands are going to come back down either side of that foot. Right leg back to meet the left. So we've got the other leg coming back. And anything that feels good to do with that leg, you can shake it out. And exhale, coming in with the knee towards the nose, rounding the back. Foot comes in between the hands. Lovely. Inhale, reaching arms all the way up. And then this time the left arm is coming down. You're going to reach back for that thigh, the right thigh, or put the hand on the lower back. Either way, you're reaching up, getting length, finding a little bit of a back bend, but being gentle, finding chest opener here. Inhale, arm comes back up. And then you've got the other one coming down, right hand coming down, lifting and opening through that chest. Lovely. Inhale, arm comes back up, opening up, cactus arms. And remember, you can find some movement here. So maybe you're going to come back onto the heel and then forward onto the toe. And breathing deeply into the belly, into the chest, into the side body and the back. And exhale. When you exhale, letting all of that stagnant air out, replacing it with fresh, new air. Lovely. Hands come down to the ground. You're moving back and forwards, working with that hamstring here. I know mine are really tight, with a little bit less yoga this week, with more rain, being less outside in classes. So just being gentle and kind and compassionate with your body wherever it's at. And remember, you can bring your hands up, just playing with what works for your body. So inhaling, lengthening through the knee, exhaling, bring the knee over the ankle. Lovely. And then you're going to inhale, reaching the arms all the way back up. And we're going to then bring the arms either side, pressing the backs of the hands behind us. This time, right arm on top of left, giving yourself a really nice hug here. You deserve it. All that we're having to deal with. And then we're bringing the hands, if it works for you, into eagle arms, pressing elbows out, fingertips up, tucking the back toes, working to lift up through that back knee, even though it might be challenging. Breathe into it. Slowly, slowly working that back foot up. You can use it as a kickstand or wrapping it around the standing leg. Calming down, squeezing everything into midline, finding your balance as best you can, being kind, being compassionate if it's not working for you. Squeeze it in, don't give up, don't run away from it. Give it a go, calming on up, unraveling that leg, right leg calming back behind you, and maybe coming into a little back bend, lifting the arms here. Calming back to center, unraveling the arms. Oh wait, we might come down with the back knee first. Unravel the arms here. Just notice how they feel. And then hands coming down either side of that foot. And then the knees come back to meet each other. Spreading the fingers wide, tucking the toes, coming into plank. Just finding a bit more space between the feet here than you might normally. We're going to exhale, coming down to the edges of the feet. Inhale to center. Exhale will go the other way. So just finding a bit of movement in plank pose. Of course, if this doesn't work for shoulders or anything, you might just come down onto your knees and not do the twisting side with your feet. Excellent. Now we're going to stay on one side. So I'm facing towards the right and bringing my arm, left arm up. Again, you can come down with that right knee if you prefer. So we're going to make some movement here. So inhaling, reaching that arm forward and up over the ear. Exhaling, just finding your movement. All right, and calming back to center. We're going the other direction. So we're bringing the hand down and up and over the ear with your breath. Remember, you can always have that left knee down. Excellent. Calming back to center. Knees are going to come down. Forearms are going to come down. And then hips are going to come down. Calming into Sphinx pose here. Opening through that chest. Finding trust. Finding acceptance. And breathing here. And then you can bend that left knee. You may be able to reach your foot or you may not. If you can't, just bring the foot in as close as you can. Otherwise, seeing if you can bring that foot in towards your bottom and finding a little twist here, maybe towards the left. Taking deep breaths. You don't want any pain, so back off if there's pain. But if there's discomfort, see if you can breathe into it. Life is uncomfortable, so we just have to learn to breathe through that discomfort. And release. We're going the other direction. You can always use a strap or something equivalent to bring that leg in if need be. And coming back here. We're going to lift up through the elbows if it feels okay on your back. So no crunching, nothing. You don't want anything that doesn't feel good. And you can just open through your chest a bit more. And then we'll bring the fingertips. You might come down a little bit first. Bring fingertips either side of your chest. And we're just moving from side to side, finding a little bit of movement here, as well as chest opening. Excellent. Coming down, interlacing fingers behind you, pressing down, pressing back with the fingers, maybe lifting the legs also. Breathing here. You can find some movement with your legs, maybe lifting them up and down a little bit. And release. Hands on top of each other, forehead down on the back of the hands. Release, surrender to the ground. Back onto forearms here. And then you're going to lift up into forearm plank. If it works for you, we'll keep your knees down. And then we'll come back onto the hands. And we're going to just press back into a downward facing dog. So you can bend one knee and then the other. And if you want, you can also play with, if you've got enough space between your feet, with turning onto the sides of the feet as you're in downward facing dog. So just being creative, noticing how it changes the pose. And then you can look forward, bending your knees a lot, and you can also play with little bunny hops. And then jumping between the hands, or you can walk your feet up to your hands, bringing your chest down towards your thighs, arms out, so like you're an aeroplane or a bird flying, lifting halfway lift, knees bent still, and reaching arms all the way up, a little back bend here, exhaling, hands to heart, center. So we're going to just again shake out the body, let go of anything that's feeling stagnant. And you can also do your mouth, hard to do when you're talking, let go, let go. So we'll come into that 4-part breath, the breath of joy, where we're inhaling, 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 and exhale as you fold, making a sound through your mouth. So 3 inhales through the nose, and then exhale out through the mouth, ha, with a sigh. All right, so inhale, 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 ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Bend your knees if you need to as you fold. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, ha, last time. Ha, just feel yourself folded over your legs. You can grab behind the legs, behind the shins, and pull your chest in towards your thighs, lifting up your sits bones as much as you can, but keeping your knees bent if need be. And then arms reach out to the side again, flat back, parallel to the floor. And inhale, arms reach all the way up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. And we're just going to be a little carefree here, just like we were when we were kids, just allowing your hands and your arms just to move and turn your head and your body, and with your breath. So inhaling one way, exhaling the other. And come to center. Palms just face away from you. Close your eyes and just notice how you feel. Hopefully you feel like energy is just being released from stuck places. Just breathe here. Slowing the breath down, slowing the heartbeat down. And then you're going to come to the top of your mat, lifting through that left knee, the left leg. So you can squeeze it in here. And we're going to then open up to do a little twist here. Now you can stay here, or you can play with extending through that right knee. It doesn't matter how bent that knee is, it's all good. So it doesn't matter where you are, just breathing where you are. Breathe here. Excellent. And then we're coming back. We're going to bring that foot behind us now. Trying to find balance, grabbing on the inside edge of that foot with the hand and pressing it back, coming into dancer's pose. Now you might find that it's just enough just doing a quad stretch here, and that's great. Or pressing back. Breathing here. And release. Taking a breath or two here. So we're going to come into chair pose and we're going to do breath of fire. So breath of fire, we focus on the exhales. Don't worry about the inhales, they will happen automatically. But you're pumping out the breath. So as I exhale, my belly goes in and up. So give it a go. If it doesn't work for you, just keep breathing through your nose. Your feet coming together, knees together, arms up. Sitting down while you're in a chair, bringing the weight back into your butt. And we're going to take a deep inhale here and a deep exhale, and then inhale to begin. Exhale, 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 exhale. Exhale everything out. Chin comes to chest, squeezing in the pelvic floor muscle. Keep that belly in and up. And when you're ready to inhale, standing up, reaching up, hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching the arms up one more time. We're going to sit back down in chair pose. This time we're not staying here, not breathing very rapidly. Hands come, we are breathing, just not breath of fire. Hands coming to heart center, and we're twisting over to the left side. So find your twist. And then we're going to play with stepping that right foot back behind you. So it's challenging. Breathing into the challenge, the discomfort. Twisting here, doing your best. And then we're going to come to center. Hands are going to come, oh sorry, before we come to center, we're going to open the arms up here. Reaching up and down. Now we're going to come actually into a standing twisted half moon. So that back leg lifts up here. So it's a twisted half moon. This is really hard. It's a bit uncomfortable. It's a bit awkward. So this is a good one to practice. Breathing into the challenges. We might fall. Keep breathing. That's how we learn. And that foot comes back down, bringing the hands back down either side of that foot. Inhale, reaching the arms all the way up and stepping that foot forward, hands to heart center. Closing the eyes, pressing the thumbs into the sternum, slowing the breath and the heartbeat down. And you can open the eyes. We're going to work the other side. I'm just going to move so you can see me. So this time we're going to lift through that right leg. You can give it a squeeze in if you like. We're going to open up here to the side behind us, finding that balance. And you can absolutely stay here. That's brilliant, and it's hard enough as it is. Or you can play with lengthening through that leg. You can even use a strap here if you have one or something equivalent. It's challenging. Breathe into the challenge. Don't push yourself too far. Know where your edge is. And calming back to center. We're going to then bring that foot behind us, grabbing onto the inside edge of that foot with the hand, pressing back, finding dancer's pose here. Breathing here. And we're going to release. Hands coming to heart center for a moment. Feet coming together. Knees coming together. We're going to come into that breath of fire again. So the arms are going to reach up. We're going to sit down, moving the weight back into the heels, sitting down, spreading the toes, lifting them up. Deep inhale here through the nose. Exhaling here fully. Inhale to begin. Exhale, 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 exhale. Exhaling everything completely, holding belly in and up, squeezing the pelvic floor, chest to chin, locking all of those body locks as they're called in yoga. And when you're ready, inhaling, reaching up, hands to heart center, closing the eyes for a moment, taking a breath, and then inhale, arms reach up again, sitting down into chair pose. Again, bringing weight back, hands to heart center. Twisting this time towards the right. Great. Lifting through that left leg, stepping it back. Just doing it the best you can, even when it's challenging. That's all we can ask for in life, right? We just do the best that we can, given the circumstances. Breathing here. And we're going to open the arms up, spreading the wings. And then we can play with lifting up, and it's really hard. Lift up, find this awkward pose here. Feel this awkwardness, breathe into this awkwardness. Give it a go, even if it seems like you want to run away and give up. Taking a breath. And then the foot comes back down. Hands either side of that foot here. Inhaling, reaching forward and up. And this time we're going to open the chest up a little bit. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then we'll step that foot forward. Palms can come either side of us. Feet apart. Closing the eyes here. Slowing the breath down. Slowing the heartbeat down. And we're going to come into a squat here. So lengthening through the back, lifting up, opening through the chest also. And we're going to come into a crow pose. So again, more flight. So you can play here, you can put pillows underneath your head, you can put blocks, so you can play. Remember, you're trying to make a triangle between your head and your hands, or at least your gaze and your hands if you've got no blocks. So you're spreading your fingers, you're trying to bring your knees all the way up into your elbows, or squeeze them either side of your arms. And you're squeezing your elbows in, they don't fall out. So I'll show you with the blocks and without. If you're doing the blocks, you can lean all the way forward until your forehead reaches the blocks, and then work to squeeze the legs in and up, and then you can play with lifting your head. If you're doing it without the blocks, you're looking far forward as though there was something there. So look, 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 lean forward, that's the key, and then play with lifting those legs, just one step at a time. So it doesn't matter where you're at, finding your breath, giving it a go, even if it's just looking forward and leaning a bit further forward. Breathing here. One more moment to play and be creative with this pose. And then we'll come down, bringing the heels towards each other's knees out. You can reach the arms up, exhaling, coming down. So finding a little bit of movement here with your arms in this pose. And then we're going to come into a frog pose on the ground. So this one is, again, one that's not always the most comfortable for most people. You're looking for right angles. So right angles with your ankle, with your heel, right angle at your knee, and right angles at your hip. So you can come down any amount, maybe bringing your hands on top of each other, forehead down on top of your hand, and just breathing here. Maybe you need some blocks and to come up higher. So just wherever you're at, you might find this is really challenging. So breathing more deeply, making sure that your jaw is relaxed, so you can move your jaw from side to side. Checking in with your shoulders and making sure that they are relaxed. Breathing here. Three deep breaths. And then slowly finding a way to come out of it. It's a bit awkward. Just finding your way up. We're going to come into a fish pose here. So the hands are palms face down and underneath your butt. And then you're going to bring your forearms down to the ground. And you're imagining that you've got a strap around your chest, lifting the chest up to the sky, head comes back. Maybe open through the throat as well as through the chest. 3 deep breaths here. And very slowly then, calming down onto your back, releasing your arms. We're going to come into a bridge pose here. So you can bring your feet about hips distance apart. Inhaling, lifting through the hips. You can interlace fingers, press them down into the ground, tuck the shoulders, lift through the hips. Deep breaths. And then you can release through your arms or your hands and come down one vertebra at a time. So you can choose to go back up into a bridge pose, or you can come into a full wheel if that works for you, where you bring your your fingers or hands either side of your ears, and the fingers are coming in towards your toes, elbows squeezing in towards each other, first coming up onto the top of your head, and then playing with lifting and pressing open with the chest. So your choice, whether you want to go full wheel or whether you want to work with bridge. Taking 3 breaths wherever you are. And then slowly coming down, giving yourself a big colossal hug here and rolling from side to side. Excellent. You're going to come into happy baby here. Again, moving from side to side. You can be as creative as you want here. So different ideas for creativity are you can play here with lengthening through one leg or lengthening through the other. So half happy baby, half bear. Or you can play with bringing your arm underneath your knee and working with bringing your heel behind your head. So it doesn't have to get there, but you're opening, you bring your arm underneath your knee, playing with that. So that's one way you could be creative here. Whatever works for you. Or just staying in happy baby, which is a great one to be in. We don't have to go anywhere else because wherever we are is already good. Wonderful. Taking a couple of breaths wherever you are. And then you're going to bring your feet together, knees out, opening up here into a butterfly pose with your knees. Palms can just come out to the sides or face up. Or you can bring one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. And just focus on your breath for a few breaths, closing your eyes. So again, really filling your belly up fully, your chest up fully. Maybe even when you get to the top and you feel like you've filled it completely, maybe pause and then top it up with another little sip before you let it all out with an exhale. You can even, when you come to the exhale, you can even just make some sound. And you can see how long you can make that sound for. One more time. Lovely. So you're going to bring knees into chest here. Give yourself a squeeze. Right knee can stay in, left leg lengthening and hovering off the ground. Breathing here. And then placing that left leg on the ground, the right knee coming across the body, right arm coming out to the side. So we're coming into spinal twist here. You can look over your right fingertips. You can have your gaze up to the sky, whatever works best for your neck. Closing your eyes and going in a little bit more deeply. 3 deep breaths here. Calming through center, giving both knees a bit of a squeeze here. And then you're going to switch sides. Right leg hovers, left is squeezed in. Breathing deeply here. Closing the eyes if that feels good. And then that right leg comes down to the ground. The knee, the left knee, crossing over the body. Left arm coming out to your side. And looking over that left arm if it feels good for your neck, or looking up at the sky. 3 deep breaths here. Coming back through center, knees coming into chest. A final hug before Shavasana here. Having your back, giving yourself support, kindness, compassion for all that it does and goes through. And then you're going to lengthen the legs out. The feet can just fall to these sides. You can have your palms face up, shoulders pressing into the ground, maybe arms about 30 degrees or more away from your body. Closing the eyes here. And you can release the control on your breath. So your breath intuitively knows how to breathe. So allow it to do so. This is a really good opportunity to practice surrender. Surrender is a good thing here, not a bad thing. Just allow yourself to lap up this moment, to enjoy your body pressing into the ground and the ground pressing into your body. Surrender to all that this moment has to offer. Finding acceptance with all that this has to offer, even if it might be a bit disappointing or not what you had expected. Or it could be completely different, expectation meeting. Your needs. Whatever it is, just embracing it all and letting go. Feeling your body being pulled down towards the earth center. So bringing your attention back to your physical body and finding a little bit of movement in your fingers and toes. Maybe making circles with wrists and ankles. You can change directions or do whatever feels good. You can find any movement here that feels good. Maybe you'll move your arms around as though they're just moving through the air, which they are. Reaching the arms up overhead and then bringing knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a final hug of the class. And rolling onto your right side, bringing your right arm underneath your head, feeling the solid ground beneath you, there to support you. And gently pressing yourself up into a seated pose, finding any seat that feels good and comfortable and any way for you to lengthen through your spine. Palms face up. Thumbs and index fingers touching, the index fingers representing air, the air element. So sitting up super tall, thumbs touching air element, being in connection with that. Breathing deeply here. And the palms up, signifying being open to what the world has to offer here. Finding acceptance in all of it. The shoulder blades coming towards each other at the back a little so that you can open through your chest. So we're going to end the class with some alternate nostril breathing. So you can use your right hand here, the thumb to block off your right nostril, maybe your whichever finger you like, but maybe your ring finger to block off the left. The other fingers can just come resting to the third eye center between the eyebrows if that feels good. So right thumb for your right nostril and the ring finger for the left nostril. We're going to inhale for the count of 4 through the left, hold for the count of 4, exhale right for the count of 4. Inhale right 4, hold 4, exhale left for 4. If you have a preferred breath you want to do, go for it. So we're going to just have the hands resting on the legs for a moment while we take a breath through both nostrils to begin with, inhaling deeply, and then exhaling fully through both. Inhale fully through both. Exhaling fully through both and bringing the hand up to the nose, right hand. So right nostril blocked off. Inhale left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hand comes down to the knee, leg. And just pause here for a moment, breathing deeply, letting go of the hold. Just checking in with how you feel. Bringing hands to heart center. We're going to inhale, reaching the arms out to the sides and all the way up. Collecting acceptance here. Hands touch and bringing the hands to heart center with the exhale. Inhale, reaching out to the sides and all the way up. Finding creativity. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching out and up, finding a sense of carefreeness. That word is a word. And exhale, hands back to the heart center. Pausing here. Finding some gratitude for yourself for taking the time for your mind and your body today. And then bringing the hands up to the third eye center between the eyebrows. It's a pleasure guiding you through your practice today. Thank you for your energy and namaste.